set to match up between the New Orleans Saints and the Pittsburgh Steelers. 3 quarters of the NFL season are complete. What lurks in our final month? We're underway in Week 14. This will be taken in at the 1. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Now a handoff here to his running back. Call it officially a loss of 2 on the first play from scrimmage. 2nd down. So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. Here we go on 2nd and 12. He's got a man on the crossing route. That's Moore. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. 22 yards there, a 1st down. And he'll give it here to his running back. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. A Saints 1st down there on a gain of 11. Now, look, that wasn't a huge gain, but those are the types of carries I think they were missing in their loss last week. They couldn't get him going on the ground.
Did you get the same feeling I did during our meetings, that they kind of regretted that he didn't touch the ball?
Absolutely.
You know, hey, he should have touched it more last week. They weren't going to make that same mistake, and they've taken care of that early.
Boy, the run on 1st down, a disaster as he's tackled well behind the line of scrimmage. That'll go as a loss of 5, and it'll make this a 2nd and long.
Ready, 60 or. Here we go.
2nd and 15. And he's going to go down. Back near midfield at the 49. Samson Abuka in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down went backwards. It's 3rd and very long. Back to throw. Now they go screen. It's complete. And he'll go down shy of the 40 at the 41. They do get 10 back, but still a ways to go on 4th. And they're getting him involved early.
You feel like they saw something on tape, or they just have a sense with him because he's had a good week of practice or something in that area that they want him involved. Just as you said, they want him to touch it either in the running game or the passing game, but they must like the matchups they're getting.
And on their first drive, the offense staying out there. They're going to go for it on 4th. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. And my goodness, this is incomplete. The Saints' decision to go for it backfires. And this crowd loves it as their guys hold on the opening drive. So good field position for the Steelers as they come up 1st and 10 at the 41-yard line. They'll run it here. This is Marlon Mack. And he'll be brought down just shy of the 45. Damon Harrison, the one on the stop.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6.
Rip right. Check that.
On second down, here's a run with Mack. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. That one, a first down pickup of 8.
How about that run? Picks up a first down. Note the enthusiasm in my voice. Remember, last week, AFC Offensive Player of the Week. I think he's trying to get another one in the fold.
And you talked, watching film, a lot about his form and just hitting the hole, running north and south, as we like to say. And I think he's been doing that a lot recently.
Squaring those shoulders and getting downhill.
They'll run on first down with Marlon Mack. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be second down. This running game's so important for them, and they know that. It helped lead him to a victory last week when he was over 100 yards.
Let's face it, it's their identity, and that's what they want to play to. They want to be that team that runs the ball really well each and every week, and right now we're seeing a pretty good pattern of that happening.
After the pickup of 5, here's second and 5. Second and 5. They'll find Juju Smith-Schuster. And this is going to be another first down as the tackle's made at the Saints 30.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
Watch safety creep.
Looking to throw on second down. Daniels. And his throw here's incomplete. Juju Smith-Schuster, the intended receiver. And it's third down. And the coach has decided to throw the red flag. He will challenge this play.
Daniels pass. Incomplete. Intended for Juju Smith-Schuster.
Well, he challenged the play. It did not pay off.
And that means he lost a timeout in that challenge.
And as a coach, you hate that. Don't know if you took the advice of the player. You threw it yourself, but it didn't go your way.
At the end of the day, it all comes back to the head coach. He has the final determination on whether to actually challenge the play or not. In this case, it didn't pay off for him.
And that's got to be so heartbreaking. You throw that flag, you probably feel really confident, and then all of a sudden, boom, you lose the challenge.
Yeah, when you take a look at it, you're throwing that flag because you believe you're going to be right. And when it comes back the other way, you have to regroup.
It would be a very makeable field goal try from here, but instead they're going to go for it. They'll run for it. It's Mack. And I don't think he got there. He did not. They stop him a yard shy. He needed 2. He only got 1. And the Saints will have the football back.
Got it.
The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. And last time they were very fortunate, this offense. They went for it on 4, turned it over in their own territory, but the other guys held up. They've got his man, complete. 33 yards that time.
I know we love our jobs, and pretty much any play we see, we're pretty, excited about. The big plays, let's face it, that's what we absolutely live for. How about that one?
That was great, and what our camera missed was the fist pump from the sideline after that catch. They're fired out. That's a big gain. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up second down. Got to give some credit there defensively. They snuffed out that screen early on first down.
Really read it well, didn't they? Because they didn't bring the pressure that they expected. They covered all the passing lanes. So once you see it break down as the passer, I think in this situation, you're throwing it at the feet of your back to make sure no one picks it off, or you throw it away, throw it over the sideline. Don't try and freelance and try and make a bigger play. There's really no one else running a pattern that should be open.
Try to get one more in here before the quarter breaks. We're scoreless after 1. The Saints with a football here to begin quarter number 2. They're on the march, but facing a third down here.
Ready? 8, read.
They'll look to throw here. He's going to look deep for more. This is caught inside the 15. And a big 32-yard play on third. Catch number 100 for his career right there, and it's good enough to keep the chains moving.
First down.
So now, following the big play, they've got a first and goal all the way down at the 10. Going to give this time to the tailback. And he'll get this one down to about the 10-yard line. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. Second and 9 now. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. Zach Ertz with touchdown number 7 on the year, as his guys are first onto the scoreboard here this afternoon. Lutz good on the extra point, and it's now a 7-0 game. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. This fielded at the 2. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line.
Let's go.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And on the last drive, they were in field goal range. They just opted not to kick it, didn't get it. How does that change the mentality this go-around?
I don't think it changes much for the head coach, because this is what he preaches all the time. Attack at all times in any spot on the field, and he likes touchdowns, not field goals. Now, your field goal kicker, you got to make sure you nurse him through and say, okay, don't worry about it. When we need you, you've got to be ready to go. And the team, of course, loves to see points on the board. So let's see if it changes a little bit. They're in the same spot again.
Well, we'll see what the decision is here if they get to that spot. They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete.
Well, the great coach has said football is really a simple game. Rush theirs, protect yours. And he's talking about those guys throwing the football. In this situation, the rush won, hitting the quarterback and forcing him into an incompletion.
They come up now 3rd and 5 following the incomplete pass. Operating from the gun, Daniels. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Well, for last week's performance, which was so good, he was named NFC Defensive Player of the Week. He got a lot of praise, and understandably so, from national media. Looking pretty good on that play, too.
And I love what he told us this week before the game. He talked about how much time they spend working on pass rush moves, every position, because anyone could go after the quarterback in their defense, and you can see how they've all absorbed their lessons.
The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. Things progressing to plan so far. Their defense has been solid, and they've got themselves a 7-0 lead after the touchdown the last time they had the ball.
And this is no time to even think about, hey, are we going to milk the clock? Hey, are we just going to have good ball control? This is the NFL. 7-0 leads, they don't last very long unless you continue to push the envelope on offense.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Now a handoff here to his running back. Just a couple on the ground there, and that's going to bring up 3rd and about 6.
Well, we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
On the ready.
The Steelers now in the nickel here on third down.
We got three, fellas. We got two.
They're going to look to throw. He's got Allen. Third catch of this first half for him, and this one is a first down. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9.
Hey, Charlie.
They'll look to throw. He's going to look deep for more. But when this ball's tipped and intercepted, and Xavier Woods with a pick. And he'll bring it all the way back, just a yard or two shy of midfield.
Oh, and that's a nice job defensively to get a piece of the football. He's going to pop it into the air, and then it's the tip drill. And good concentration by him to react to it and pull in the interception.
The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. And 3 and out on the last drive. No points on the scoreboard. A little soul-searching now?
I would say so, and they need to help out their defense a little bit. They've had to be on the field a lot more than normal, put them in some tough spots. But what's the old adage? When you get another chance, it gives you a better chance to do it right.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. They'll run it. It's Mack. So he got free of one tackle but couldn't do a whole lot else.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
Watch the whip.
From the gun on third down. Daniels under pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 46. Well, that's 2 sacks in this game, so add that to the 4 from last week. I think that's 6.
Good math. Excellent math. And look, he's going to get all the attention he deserves. He got home and got the quarterback on the ground. But that's a concentrated team effort because you have a lot of guys who occupy blockers to allow him access to rush the passer.
He steps into this one, and this is a rocket.
The Saints take over 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
The Saints offense on the field ready to get their drive started. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20.
Five.
Squeeze, double. Mike 50.
2nd and 10. He's going to look deep for more. Oh, nearly picked. And maybe lucky there. This guy doesn't drop many defensively. 3rd down.
Well, nearly another interception there. That would have been 2 drives in a row with a pick. He's got to start taking care of the ball way better than what we're seeing.
Interestingly, that throw was probably worse than the one he threw the interception on last drive, but fell incomplete. So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10. They'll drop the throw. Trying to fit it into Moore, but it's intercepted. Picked off around the 41. Well, I saw the pressure coming at him. That just looked problematic. Hit him as he threw it, and the interception ensued.
Let me pay homage to the man who stood in this spot before. He always talked about how much pressure is in the face of a guy, and can he step into a throw? And when you can't do that, oftentimes interceptions result.
On 1st down, it's Mack, and they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10. Looked like he was trying to bounce it outside, but no success.
Yeah, sometimes you got to just figure out where you're going to go, and sometimes you just have to take it to another spot. And trying to get it outside, the defensive pursuit was there and just ran him down.
And a couple of yards as they move it from the 21 to the 19.
They just keep trying, but so far, finding no room for him to run.
None whatsoever. In fact, you run the numbers. He's under 3 yards a carry at the moment. Well, good field position to start the drive, but under the gun now here on 3rd and 8. From the gun, Daniels. And it's incomplete, broken up. But there is a flag down. Let's see what that's about. Thought they were going to force a 4th down. Instead, PI gives them the 1st.
And that's frustrating because you think you've taken them really deep into the count, haven't you? Instead, you've got to start all over. That can really, really be demoralizing.
A chance now to get even before the break as they come up 1st and goal.
Watch the air. Alert flare, alert flare, flare, flare. Check 24, check 24.
They'll run here with Mack. And the hole closes quickly here. He can fight only to about the 4. The Steelers signal for the 2nd of their timeouts, as the stoppage will come with 23 seconds to go till halftime. 2nd and goal from inside the 5.
Let's get it.
Here's Marlon Mack. And he will push his way forward down to about the 3-yard line. Call it a gain of a yard as they get a little bit closer here. It's 3rd and goal. So can this New Orleans defense stand tall again? 3rd and goal. Well, this is going to depend on the spot, but it's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short. And we're going to get a timeout with 2 seconds remaining in the 2nd quarter. And likely time for one final play here in the half, so they will go for it on 4th down.
Here we go. Check. Hey, watch this, watch this. Check nickel, nickel, nickel.
They'll run it with Mack, and they are going to stop him on 4th and 1 as they'll wind up going backwards. So we have reached halftime with a touchdown. That's the difference on the scoreboard. As we'll send you down to Orlando, we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And last time, they had it 4th and goal, rolled the dice, didn't get it. Now they've got to put that behind them, try to put together another drive.
Hey, a simple tip of the cap, a nod of the head to the defense. Congratulations, you got us last time. But you didn't hold us the whole time. We get down to position where we were able to be in position to score. Let's go ahead and attack again. Continue to have that kind of confidence. Not worry about the one play that didn't allow them to get into the end zone.
And this time they'll be trying to get it into the end zone. We'll see what they do. Play clock down to 5, and they're going to burn a timeout. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this third quarter. The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. And this offense last time turned it over, went for it on 4th, didn't get it. They're lucky, though, because no points against the team on the board, but we'll see how they respond.
Yeah, they've got to get a lot of credit to their defensive teammates, don't they? They had their backs on that last series, and because they did so, that allows the coach to still stay aggressive on offense and maybe go for it again in a similar situation.
I was going to say, maybe makes that offense feel good when you know you've got a defense making stands like that.
Yeah, that'll loosen up things a little bit, won't it? Maybe you'll play a little bit better the next time you have the ball.
Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. Here's a 2nd and 7. And he hits his target. It's Kenny Stills. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
Mike's by 4. Let's go deep, tighten up. Let's go deep, tighten up.
They'll try and run for this with Mack. And he will have a first down as they get him to the ground at the 37. It's a first down following a gain of 3. That right there, a good sign for a team that's had trouble converting 3rd down so far this year. They're in the bottom 5 in the NFL, but they come through there.
Yeah, and I bet if we put our guy Marvin on the case and say, Marvin, tell us where they rank on 3rd and what, right? I bet they're in the top 5 in the league on 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7 or more. Because that...
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. He's looking for another 4-sack game. That's how many he had last week. That's his 3rd.
And when I watch him rush the passer, the thing that always comes to mind for me is how well he uses his hands. The martial arts stuff that a lot of guys do in the offseason to work on those, paying dividends for him. He's getting home in a big way.
Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on 2nd down. A good pickup there, 13 yards as they get closer for 3rd down.
And while we're seeing more and more of these plays come from the college game into the NFL, and that one, it was run with great success, how about the evolution of the offensive linemen? We're seeing less and less big guys who can't move and more guys who are a lot more...
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Cameron Jordan in there to drop him for his 11th sack of the year.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
The Steelers send out their punter now as he's on to kick it away. And the kick's away as he angles this one for the sideline.
Come on, man. Let's go.
First and 10 at their own 31-yard line.
The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. They were able to get the ball back here, didn't surrender any points. Now they'll look to add to that lead.
Now, how about the boost the defense gave them? Going right out on the field, shutting them down, not giving up any points, and turning the ball back over. They want to do their part now and show them a little respect and some gratitude by scoring some points.
And to get a little more cushion. 6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. Now they try the right side here. A gain there of 30 big ones.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
That throw into the arms of Allen, and brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. The Saints first down there on a gain of 11. And he'll give it here to his running back. He's got the first down inside the 10, and finally wrestled down at the 8-yard line. 15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another first down.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense, because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
They'll run with Sanders, and they'll be driven back here, losing yardage to the 10-yard line. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up second down. Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down.
Once you get into the red zone and the safeties have less ground to cover, you'd better be quick with your delivery. Not much space to get a ball in there.
Yeah, when that field shrinks with those safeties, it's almost like there's a couple extra defenders out there, right?
It certainly is. They end up taking up extra space just because there's not enough space for receivers to run through.
Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
And the blitz does come. And that is incomplete. There was the pressure you were talking about, force the incompletion.
And it doesn't always have to end in a sack, does it? Sometimes you can make a good play by forcing the incompletion with the pressure.
Now Lutz for the field goal try. The kick by Lutz is good. And the lead moves to 10-zip. They had it 1st and goal, 3 attempts, couldn't get it in, so they settle for 3.
Yeah, the field tends to shrink a little bit the closer you get to the goal line, doesn't it? It doesn't sound right. It sounds a little counterintuitive. But you run out of space to run the deep routes, so they can just sit on the shorter stuff if you're going to throw it. If you want to run it, there's just not as much space. They end up having to take 3 there.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. Their defense has done the job. Now it's the offense's turn as they've got it 1st and 10. And just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up.
No gain on the play. 2nd and 10.
Well, they had the run for no gain. Now they'll try again from the 25 on 2nd and 10. Now a toss play. This is Mack. Only a couple there as he'll be brought down about the 28.
Oftentimes we praise an offense for their variety of being able to hit people with the run in the pass. But in this game, how about what we're seeing from the safeties? They are all over the field. Doesn't matter if they threw it or if they're trying to run it.
I don't think we've ever awarded an MVU, most valuable unit, but you're right. It might go to them in this game.
I like that. MVU. Well done.
On 3rd down, Daniels. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Cameron Jordan racking up sack number 12 for him on the year.
Brandon, I think you understand the type of afternoon this offensive line is having. It is a long one for them. Long for you to spend it with me. Long for them trying to block those guys. They've given up a whole lot of sacks, and the speed and quickness of that defensive line is eating them alive.
He's averaging just under 50 yards a punt as he gets this away. We'll call that a 47-yard punt, a return of just 3. And the Saints will take over with a 1st down and 10. They have, by the way, gone to the 3rd quarter now at Ford Field in Detroit. And the Panthers have now taken the lead in that ball game. Remember to keep an eye on the ticker, of course, at the bottom of your screen for updates on that game and others around the NFL. And to give this time to the tailback. Artie Burns, the cornerback, brings him down.
An opportunity to get a drive started here at the end of the third quarter. What you're trying to do is break the game down a little bit. Don't let your guys see too deep into the game, into the future, and say, oh, we got to get here. No, right here, right in front of them, melt the clock down, get to the fourth quarter, try and keep going.
And try to keep that lead.
Exactly.
And this should be the final play before the quarter ends.
22 Jet Bombers, 22 Jet Bombers.
And that is going to do it for this third quarter of action. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports.
Set. 60 outlaw.
All right. Here we go. Let's go, D. Let's go. Hey, let's get there. Check 30.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And this will be stopped at the 44. That one good for 7 yards.
Well, Brandon, pace comes into play now because they've got the advantage. They've got the football, but they've got to be very careful about what speed they're going to play. You know, my music teacher back in New Paltz, Mrs. Bythema Bagley, used to say, don't go prestissimo when you really want to go largo. And what she meant by that is don't go too fast when you really want to go at a nice, slow, deliberate pace.
I am speechless. I am without speech. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he will have the first down as he's brought down up near midfield. They're able to convert with a gain of 4.
Brandon, when a defense just simply can't get off the field on third down, and we all know how important that down is for both sides of the ball, you often feel like you're just a step behind whatever they're doing offensively.
And one of the differences in this game, no doubt, third down conversion, and that is going to be a story they'll talk about after this one.
Hey, watch the slant. Watch the slant.
Back to throw now on first down. And he's got the hook up to Moore. Touchdown, New Orleans. A big play there with touchdown number 8 on the year. And the Saints able to stretch that lead out further. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky Country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
This is fielded at the goal line. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it? Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. Now, following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a second down and 17. Looking to throw. Daniels. And they work this well upfield across the 45. Give them 32 on the play. Defensively, I know they have the comfortable lead here in the fourth, but they do not want to give up big plays like that.
They want to finish strong. So oftentimes in this situation, you tighten up underneath in your coverage, and you bring your safeties back. They can pick up anything that leaks through.
Look at this, middle of the field, a breakaway. And he's going to take it in for a Steeler touchdown. Kenny Stills, his third touchdown now on the year. And the Steelers are able to cut into that deficit.
You've got to understand situational football because they're playing with the lead here late in the ball game. So the back defender has got to be as deep as the deepest receiver. Keep everything in front of you, rally up and make the play.
Yeah, you would think they had the 3-score lead. Now it's down to 2, but 3-score lead here late. But they wouldn't give up a big pass play like that, but they did. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. Well, there are 2 scores on the plus side. Still time here in this 4th quarter, but maybe you start thinking about playing keep away?
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking touchdowns anymore. You're just thinking first downs. To keep up with your theme there, playing keep away, first downs, they can't touch the ball.
Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
He's checking, he's checking, he's checking.
And to give this time to the tailback. And he's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
Back to throw here. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Now the Steelers use the second of their 3 timeouts. That's going to be their second. They'll be left with 1 more plus the 2-minute warning, and we'll be back. Here's Thomas Morstead now as he's on a punt for the first time this afternoon. This is fielded at the 27. A good return there. Call it 13 yards. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. They had to go a long way on their last drive to score the touchdown. This time they get at least a little bit more of a cushion with field position.
I have to think that with this field position, after what they did on the last drive, they might want to take a shot right now and try and cut down the length of the drive.
A gain of 10, good for a Steeler first down. From the midfield strike, they'll look to throw. It's complete. Stills. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means they have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down.
But that's what you're looking for when you want to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves downfield and create catches.
And the Steelers on 3rd down. It's been a problem. Just 1 for 7 thus far. Here it's 3rd and 2. They'll run the screen with Mack. And he's taken down inside the 30. And this is going to be another first down as the tackle's made at the Saints' 29-yard line. In a 2-score game, obviously, every play, every 3rd down, like we saw there, magnified, big pickup.
It was a huge pickup. What they really want, though, is to not even get to 3rd down. They've got to maximize time and conserve as much as possible.
Back to throw. Daniels under pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 38. Cameron Jordan, he's the culprit, and that is now his 13th sack of the season as his great year continues. After the sack, it's 2nd and 19, and the road gets a bit tougher from here. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So the Steelers with the football as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. A pickup of 7 there, but they'll still have 12 yards to go on 3rd down.
Anytime the offense shows what they call a shot play or a trunk play where they're trying to get big yardage, sometimes people just call it gadget plays, and you hold it to a gain that we just saw there, you feel pretty good about yourself as a defense.
To throw on 3rd down, Daniels. And he's going to be taken down. Pressure gets there, bank at the 39-yard line. And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter, let's see how this plays out. And this is caught. They keep the game alive, at least for the moment, as it's a 1st down. Looking to run with Mack. Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. They'll say no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd and goal. Again, it'll be Mack. And he takes this one into the end zone, and all of a sudden, here in the final minute, things get a little bit tighter.
I'm not sure win-win is the proper term here, but it certainly felt like it. They got the touchdown they needed, but if I'm on the defensive side of the ball, okay, you got the touchdown, but it sure took you a long time.
Yeah, because offensively there, you're probably hoping for a 1 to 5 play drive. That one ate up a little more time than they were hoping.
You're exactly right, and if you have that 1 to 5 play drive, you actually build up momentum and even more hope. When they had to slog their way downfield, they got the touchdown, but it's almost like, yeah, you know,
doesn't feel right.
Exactly.
Well, 4th quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we've brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number, kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
Ready up.
Check 55, Mike. You can't block me. You can't block me. You can't block me.
5.
The Saints in victory formation now as they'll take the knee. And that knee will do it. So they snap the losing streak. Always a good feeling.
Yeah, I don't know if this one right here when they're taking a knee is as much exultation as exhalation, right? They just breathe a sigh of relief. Finally got a win. Needed one desperately.
So this one, a victory here for New Orleans. And I tell you, this was a fun one. Just a close game. Nothing comes easy in this league, as you know. They had to work for that victory.
I've got to go back to what you just said. Nothing comes easy in this league. How many times have we talked to coaches prior to a game and assessed, you know, the strengths, the weaknesses, the whole deal? Even in games when one coach was a decided favorite, what do they always say to us? But you do know this is really a 7-point league. 7 points either way usually decides a ball game. We had exactly that in this one.
And not only that, but this is a gutsy road victory, one they can hang their hat on. So for the Saints, they move back over 500 at 7-6. And they'll get another road test next week as they head to Atlanta to take on the Falcons. Meanwhile, for Pittsburgh, it's loss number 5 for them on the year. And they'll try and turn things around next week as they have a date at MetLife Stadium with the New York Jets. So for Charles Davis and our entire crew,